praying for them. And so tonight we're going to continue our study. And Van just, listed a couple of questions that, you need to ask, right? You should ask. And I think that might be related to my, topic as well tonight. It is kind of he's just laid out all these, questions, and those are kind of like a standard, kind of a standard that we should raise. Are you, or if you are not, so that kind of stuff. So, think with me tonight. A lot of us, are living with some kind of a standard, right? A standard that someone raised. For example, the time, the time. So what time zone are we living right now? In what time zone we are in? No, I'm talking about the real clock and stuff like that, right? So it has to be like, what is that? Eastern time, right? Western time and Central, whatever, they have a time zone, right? And we have like, all part of the world has, different time zone. So who set those up? Human, right? Were those time zones existed before? It has. Yeah. Because we know that, like, according to the Bible, the sun, the moon, the stars, God, created them to know what? The time, the hours, and everything, right? Those things are there before. But in order to have, set up those time, the watch that we are using, the clock that we are using, someone has to what? Invented them, right? So that's why you are using. And everybody agree on those time zones, isn't it? Right? So let's say, like, you guys said, let's meet here at 5 p.m. tonight. So whenever you watch your clock, you have to be in this time zone to come here at 5, right? So if you are not in that standard, you won't get here at 5. So that is agreeable, right? So wherever we do, you go to the school, you got to be right at 7 or 8 or 9. You do with what? The time, the standard. So, think with me. And also not only the time zone, not only the time, the wall clock and whatever the time, we also do with these music instruments here, right? The music instruments that are here. Or the pianos that are here, that is here. So when I press the note, C note, all right? So if I press C note and let's say that this piano is tuned, right? With a master key. How many of you seen, like people tune the piano? None? So because, my parents used to sell pianos. So I have a lot of pianos at home. So when people come in and has to tune the piano. If the pianos are out of tune, they have to tune the piano. And there is something that they brought with him. That man always brought that stuff. And it is called a master key. The pitch that he make. And they make ding, 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 ding. Has to have the right song with them. So he keep doing that till he, line up with that tune. So who invented that, pitch? That master key. Do you guys see that when somebody going to sing the choir, they say, give me the key. And somebody take out this, round circle stuff, and then, and it's like, do, mi, so, something like that, right? And they started singing beautifully. So in order for them to start, they have to use that master key. So the music, so whenever I press keynote, C keynote over here, and let's say somebody from Myanmar press C key, if they tune with that master key, the sound has to be what? The same. Isn't that amazing? All over the world. Now, the key that we use in, this keyboard is tuned to that, with that, that standard master key, right? How can people agree on that? And how can people agree on those time zones? Have you ever think about that? Sometimes you just play music, whatever you want. But if you really would like to play on the stage with a certain, orchestra or the group, you really need to tune your instrument with what? That master key, isn't it? Otherwise, they won't let you play. You're going to play with different kind of key, and they're going to say, give you C, and you play C and doesn't tune. So, sorry, you have to tune your guitar in with this, this standard. And at the school in America, they have a standard of testing, right? They try to test you. Right? Back home, we have the government tests. We have to go through the government test at the 8th standard, 8th grade, the 10th grade, right? In our time. So the government is going to test all the students in Myanmar at 8th grade with their standard. So all the questions come from the government, and all over the student in Myanmar, everywhere, if they are 8th grade, they have to have that test and a certain date. See? So even the test, they have what? A standard, right? Now, somebody plays sport, right? At athletes and stuff like that. They said, wow, that man or that woman broke a world record. It's broke a world record. Swimming, running, or whatever, something. They broke a world record. Who made that world record? Standard. See, everybody should agree on something, isn't it? Right? So why I brought up this thing? Those things are created by our God. But people didn't know about that. And somebody on some day came and said, wow, this is there. We should use it. And then he or she invented something, and it's become a standard, a standardized. Even in the music, even in our time and everything. And all over the world, most of them agree on that. Right? If I play C, whenever you play C chord, and somebody in back home plays C chord, it has to be what? The same. You shouldn't I play C this way, you play C. The sound has to be the same. But one thing, one standard that people don't agree on, and people don't live by, that standard is what? Faith. Isn't it? Isn't that strange? Faith, when it's come to, faith issue, people don't live on the same standard. Right? Oh, I believe in this God. I believe in this. I believe in that. Even in Christians, there are a lot of what? Denominations, right? Everything's run according to their own standard. So when you look at, last time we looked at, kind of talking about blessing. And also we, study about the book, Job. So when he was living at his, at that time, what standard, he lived his life with? On what standard? He put his standard. He put his life in. Right? God said that there is none like Job on earth. See, God said that Job was the one. There is none like him that lived on earth. So God measured Job with what standard? His own standard. So there should be a standard that God set for all creatures, especially human beings, right? Young or small. I'm going to talk about that tonight. Some of you say, I'm still, children, I'm still young. No, there's a standard that God set for all of us here. And before, not everybody agree on that. See, everything that I told you, music, time, athletes, all kind of standards, testing, stuff like that. Someone has to what? Invented it, right? So when it's come to faith, no one knew that there is something out there that we should worship. So in order to, to know us about that, God sent his one and only Son. He's like a kind of invented a standard of faith. Right? But not many people are living according to what? That standard. So my question to you is, on what scale, on what standard are you building your life on? The way you cut your hair, the way you dress, the way you smile, the way you walk. On what standard are you doing that? Some said, my hairstyle is like Ronaldo. I'm using this, or whatever, that famous actress, whatever, do that. So I bought it. See, all the fashion that we have today, we are wearing today is someone what? Out there, or, Hollywood stars, they use that. And then they sell it out there, and then you say, wow, look at that, so cool. See? And then it's become your style. You bought it. So tonight, let me ask you, on what standard are you living today? You come every Sunday. Some of you are like one-day Christian, 3 hours Christian. Only that 3 hours, you come, you worship, you sing, and the rest, 6 days, you live with some other kind of standard. You don't read Bible, you don't pray, you don't do anything. You're living like those who doesn't know God. And you still said you are Christian. Is that right? Shouldn't be that way, right? We should live on some kind of a standard. So let's go to Jeremiah chapter 17. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 1 and verse 2. I'm going to read that first. And I believe Novell is going to find that for me. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 1 and 2. When you read that, we're going to talk about blessing, and you're going to see that, in there. It is talking about the sin of Judah, right? How many of you know Judah? All right? So you have to know the history, right? Israel is a nation. But because of, Solomon's sins, King Solomon's sins, the country, the nation was split into what? 2 parts, 2 nations. It become two parts, 2 nations. The Israel and Judah. So it's talking about the sin of Judah here. And if you know, the Israelites, those are chosen people, right? Let me ask you this question and give me, just quick answer. Why God choose Israelite? To do what? Why God choose Israelite? To glorify his name. And what else? See? No answer. See, he chose that people to raise a standard. Do you see that? God would like to set a standard that people will see. Wow, this is what my standard is. This is what I would like people to live. So for that reason, God chose the Israelites, isn't it? Right? That's why we still go back to Old Testament and to see how God told that people and that people live at that time. Right? God would like to set a standard. So now Judah, and other 10 tribes, they kind of abandoned God. They said, no more God. I cannot live with your standard. Your standards are too high. We're just going to choose another one. We're going to choose our own lifestyle. And this is a country of, flowing of milk and honey. We can live whatever we want. And we're going to pick, like other, the Canaanites, worship style. So they started doing that, and God said that the sin of Judah is written with a pen of what? Iron. What does that mean, a pen of iron? What kind of pen we use? The pen that we can write on the paper, right? But this kind of pen is different. It should be really what? Hard to write on, a hard surface. The pen of iron. With the points of a diamond. See, a diamond is really hard stone, right? So God is using that diamond and engrave on the tablet of their heart. See? So that means you can figure it out how hard is the heart of the Israelites. Right? Too hard. Have to write with the pen of iron, with the point of a diamond. And on the horns of your altar. Let's keep going. You'll see that. Verse 2. While their children remember their altars and their wooden images by the green trees on the high hill. Who are those? They are children. See, not only adults, not only, like these grown-up people, even their what? Children can go to worship and practice that worship style. So that means the whole country, the whole family of those Judah tribe, or Judah, that nation, are living in what? The same standard. Not the standard that God raised, but the standard that they choose to live. So because of that, all of their children even, know how to worship what? Other gods. See, they went to the altars. They worship that, the images. See, how many of you, see the pictures of, Buddhist monk, a small Buddhist monk back home? Now, even though they are young, they know what to do. They can bow down to the idols and they worship, right? Back home, when we grew up. We saw that. And the Muslims, children, can quote what? Quran, and then they can live according to that. So because they have the standards, they raise the standards, and they live according to that. Now look at this. Even these children know what to do. So now here today, you say that you are Christians. What standard are you living today? Don't tell me a Bible. Most of you are not living according to that standard. Right? If we are living according to the standard of the Bible, the whole Syracuse should be changed by now. Isn't it? So that means we're living with a standard that's different from the Bible. Right? So just look at this. The world is setting a standard for us everywhere. In the Facebook, in television, in internet, at your school, at your community, right? All those standards. You should say a certain word, you should not say a certain. When you sneeze, you have to say, bless you. When you do this, you should not do that. Those are what? The standards. Maybe those are not from the Bible. But you said, wow, I have to do this, I have to do that. But by keeping all those standards, you have no idea what the Bible talk about, and you never open and read the Bible. So you don't know, you have no idea. And on top of that, your parents don't teach you at home. They don't tune you up with that standard. See, that's the problem today with many Christians. Right? So, let's go to verse 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so let's do with verse 5 first. Okay, let's read it together. Thus said the Lord, cursed is the man who trusts in man. Okay, let's stop there. God going to curse a man who trusts is in who? In a man. And makes flesh his strength. Whose heart departs from the law? Is that you? Yeah, a lot of you are trusting yourself, trusting man, right? Trusting the standard of something other than Bible. So that man, God said that what? Curse is that man. Who cursed us? God. God cursed us. Do you like a curse from God? It's not pleasant. Curse from God is not pleasant. Right? So if God cursed, people, this is what he said. You trust in your own strength. And you depart from me and you trust in man. You live according to worldly standard. So what about those 6 days or those 5 days? How are you living your lifestyle today? On what standard? Is the Bible is truly your standard? Or you just choose some kind of standard to live by? And then you should understand this. God said you are what? You are cursed. Cursed is the man who trusts in man. See, we trust in man, right, today. We trust in the power of the government. We trust in, the power of something that man invented. Every day we drive, and we thought, we are safe. Just start the engine, boom, explosion take place in the engine. We thought, wow, this is so cool. Right? Actually, you are on what? You're riding on the fire. When you're riding on the car, that means the car is what? The fuels are exploded in there, right? And you thought it's safe. And you rely on someone that invented that machine, and you said, wow. You don't even pray when you drive, right? Just start the engine and go to work. I'm late. Boom. See? Let's go to another verse. Okay, keep reading. For he shall be like a shrub in the desert. How many of you see a shrub in the desert? It's kind of a bush, bushy, stuff. It won't last that long, right? If it is in the, dry place, a desert, right? And let's keep reading. And shall not see when good comes, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land which is not inhabited. See, how many of you grow, seeds, at home? Yeah. When you put that seed, that soil has to be what? Good. Fertilize and put, But how many of you, grown a seed in the salty soil? Can you grow something in the salty soil? No. Why? You'll die. See, a cursed man is like that. If you trust a man, if you trust the system of man, if you're living every day your life, according to the worldly system, you are like this man. It's like a bush in the desert, and it's a kind of, you're growing something in a salty land. You won't see fruits in that. That's why many Christians have no fruits. You know why? Because their standard is not according to God's standard. See, you have to understand. If you don't understand this, if you don't see that, the inventor has already invented the standard of the faith. Jesus Christ. But you don't see that standard. You don't live by that standard. Okay, let's go to another verse. It's a very beautiful one. Wow, here. Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord and whose hope is the Lord. See, that is the standard of a blessed man. A blessed man, he set his standard in the Lord. So let's read another one. Another verse. Keep reading. For he shall be like a tree planted by the water. See, have you ever seen a tree planted by the water? Is that tree be what? Tall and green and strong, right? Which spreads out its root by the river. See? And will not fear when heat comes. Why? Because it has enough water, right? The roots are already spread out everywhere. Even the heat is there. Said, it doesn't feel like, heat. The thing is what? Someone that really trusts in the Lord. Even though when the tough time comes, people look at them and people greet them, and they may not know that that guy or that woman is really in trouble. It doesn't appear, they are like in trouble. But a real time is like they are what? Facing big problems. But doesn't seem like it. Because they what? Trust in the Lord. Do you find like that kind of man? We are studying about that man, right? Job, right? Blessed be the name of the Lord. When did he shout at that phrase? Was that in a happy time, or was that in a sad time? Very, very sad time. 10 children die. All of his possessions are gone. Even the wife said, cousin, die. He said what? Blessed be the name of the Lord. Because he set his standard in the Lord. So that's why you might say what? I don't have time to read the Bible. I don't have time to pray. Let me tell you something. A new president, you like him or not, this is what I heard. And this is what, I seen that on, newspaper and television. Before he go out, he read the Bible and he pray. And when he come back, he read the Bible and he pray. You have that kind of president now. You like it or not, some people don't like it, some people like him a lot. But, last week I saw that prayer is coming back to the White House. Everybody, stand up and pray before they go to the office in the White House. See, if those people can pray, if the president can pray, if the president can read the Bible, do you have any excuse? I have to go to my 10th grade class. I have to go and walk. Hey, are you busy like a president? Ask yourself, where do you set your standard? Are you living that standard every day of your life? We need to tune, ourselves every day. See that guitar, maybe some of you play tonight, right? And maybe like tomorrow, Kupato is coming to play and say, ding, 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 and say what? It is out of what? Tune. He has to what? Retune it again. This is what we have to do every day of our life. We are out of tune. Because of our eyes, because of our thoughts, because of our emotion, everything. And we have to go back and tune ourselves with what? The standard. The master key. The scripture. The Bible. If you don't do that, you are what? Cursed men and women and children. Believe me. So this is what the standard of God is. And God already set the standard. Christians, we have to follow the standard. And then you will be called what? Blessed is the man, the woman, and the children of God. Okay, God bless you all.